Welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fasciano.
And I'm Mary Bridget Fasciano, Peter's sister.
And today's Friday. We have a bottle battle.
Bottle battle.
Coming at you.
Battle of the bottles. Bottle battle.
My sister selected these. These are random samples that I have in my sample pool. I don't know what they are, but I have them marked on the bottom of the glasses. I just ended up pouring them. And we are going to taste them, give you some notes, and then figure out which one we like the best. We're not probably going to agree. We don't have to agree.
We don't always.
But we're gonna see what we have here. Just a reminder before we get this going, I do have a May giveaway. And you know what I completely forgot?
What?
May 1st was my 3-year channel anniversary.
Oh.
Didn't even think about it.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
Too bad.
3 years.
We missed the mark. We could have done something special.
3 years on the channel. I'm a Whiskey Promiscuous channel. This could be anything. I have a whole bunch of different matchups. I put these matchups together for a specific reason. So we're gonna start on the glass on our left. Smells like
Whiskey.
it does. It smells like whiskey. And if you're hearing anything in the background, it's a kind of a nice day, but it's hot in this office on cue. I got
The
a
dog next door.
next door. We've got the doors and the windows open. It's supposed to be raining for the next 3 days here.
I know, which is crazy. And we got a nice, I don't know about you, but at the school, we got a nice downpour for a little bit.
All right, what do you got?
A glass.
Glass
with
of whiskey. Smells sweet and spicy.
It does. I'm trying to decide. This has some of the same notes as the Irish single malt that we just did. So now I'm all up in my head. I'm like, okay, so is this an
not a good
Irish
place to be.
single? No, it is not a good. You don't want to be in my head. An Irish single malt that's bourbon-esque, or is it a bourbon?
Yeah,
Because actually, the Irish single malt smelled sweeter than this.
it did. This has a little bit more spice to it. I want to say my initial reaction is bourbon.
Are we allowed to smell this one before we?
You could do whatever you want. You don't have to ask me what
I'm
to
a
do.
rule follower, so I need.
There are no rules.
I need to follow your rules.
Yeah, this smells spicy up front, pepper, ginger.
Okay. Yeah,
It's got some
it's a bourbon.
darker notes to it, pretty oaky, and maybe a slight amount of cherry.
Yeah, this one smells sweeter.
Yeah, this one is dead on the nose compared to the first one.
Yeah, there's not. It smells sweet. There's not that same spice there. So I think that's why it smells dead on the nose.
Yeah.
You're not getting
It's not as
that
vibrant,
spice.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
are we ready?
We are ready.
All right. So, first sip. Cheers. Oh, that's pretty good. Or at least I think so. Based on that face, it's not good.
Well, no, I was confused for a minute because when
Oh.
it first hit my palate, it was sweet, and then all of a sudden it turned spicy.
And way bitter.
Yeah.
That finish
Like
is
it
not.
just sucked all of the moisture right out of my tongue.
That finish is not the best finish.
No.
My
The
initial
initial was great.
Was really good. Sweet, spicy. Those traditional, I think, bourbon notes. There's vanilla there. But yeah, that
It's kind of like a book when you read a book, but the author never knows how to end it, and it's great all the way up until the ending, and you're like, oh, that just ruined the whole book.
that
That was kind of like that.
that's a little perplexing. I was not expecting
Did you like that analogy?
Yeah,
Coming from
it's-
the English teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
good, but I wasn't expecting that finish. All right, let's go on to glass number 2. Sweet, spicy, drying, bitter on the finish for that first one. I think the nose was better. I think that finish just ruined it.
I know. It's kind of like some of my ex-boyfriends.
I'm gonna let that go.
I was waiting for you to say something.
All right, you got a good apple note. Some vanilla, not as spicy.
Yeah, definitely some vanilla.
Oh my God.
No, she's yelling.
I am
at her dog.
that's different. I'm surrounded. I really do like dogs. I've got a dog over here. I've got 2 dogs in back behind me, and I've got 3 dogs on the other side, and every single one of them barks.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, this one is just nondescript compared to that first one.
Well, maybe that means we'll like it more.
All right.
That's smooth, but with a weird,
That's strange
a little
too.
weird aftertaste.
Yeah, that finish was a lot faster this time as far as hitting the finish, and it almost has that same bitter oak finish. Initially, I am not a fan of either one of these with the finish.
No.
If I could just taste them initially, when they hit the front of the palate and the mid palate, I think it's pretty good sweet spiciness. And then they both immediately turn bitter,
Fall off the cliff.
which
Yeah.
kind of ruins it. So what we're going to do is taste these a little bit off air. I'm just going to fast forward this so you'll kind of see it. I'm not trying to hide anything, so we'll talk about each one of these as we go. I'm also going to jump out and grab some water, and then when I come back, we'll get to tasting these, talk about it, and then when we come back, we'll have an idea of which one our favorite is, if we have a favorite.
we have one.
All right, I'll be right back. We'll be right back. Okay, I am ready.
I'm ready.
Not the best matchup in the world as far as flavors go. So, do you have a preference between the two?
Yes.
Not saying that you're going to drink them, but which one do you like the most?
So I like the smell of this one the most, but I don't like either. But if I had to choose one over the other, I like the nose on this, and I prefer the taste on this more than this, but I still don't like that.
I'm going to say that I like this glass more.
Oh.
So,
Even with that bitter drying aftertaste?
because they both have a bitter drying aftertaste, and I think the vibrancy of this glass, for me, puts it above glass number 2, because this one is just dead. It's dead. This is dead to me. So I would much prefer glass 1 over glass 2.
Okay.
I'm also thinking glass 2 might have a little bit more proof to it,
Yeah, I agree with
but
that.
what's ruining both of these is the finish.
The finish.
I'm just not the biggest fan of the finish. It's bitter, it's oak, it's like a dark chocolate bitterness. It's drying. The fruit flavors and the spice I like in both, but it's the finish at this moment that's killing me. So
Curious as to what they are.
I'm very
and
curious.
why you chose these.
yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. You already know what it is because of the thumbnail
put it
itself, but I'm going to take a look now what it is that we were drinking, and then I'll grab the bottles, remind myself of the price, and if there's anything else that we need to add before we end the video. So your favorite is in your hand, and my favorite is in my hand.
No, my favorite's sitting next to me.
She's so nice. I should have her on the channel more often. Okay, ready? Oh, you're already
Okay.
looking. You know what? This tracks so much.
They're both the same. This one's the single barrel.
I am not, absolutely not a fan of Four Roses. So this is the OESK pick. So this is a store pick of the Four Roses recipe OESK. Yours is...
The OESK single barrel.
So this matchup, I put this matchup together because they're the exact same recipe for Four Roses OESK. Hers is the single barrel. Mine is the OESK store pick. So let me go ahead and grab the bottles and then tell you what the price is, and then we'll finish this up.
Now, Four Roses was one of the very first whiskeys that we ever tasted when we first started drinking whiskey.
It was the very first. It was absolutely the very first
And I remember
whiskey.
we were like, oh, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Why are we drinking whiskey?
Let me go ahead and grab the bottles. All right. So Four Roses just recently came out with 3 different single barrel recipes, and I already had the OESK. It's a Total Wine and More store pick, OESK. So that's the one that I thought was the better tasting. And then the OESK new single barrel release was her favorite. I ended up paying $119.99 for this one, and I believe these new single barrels are
$52.99.
around $50, so $52.99. Available pretty much everywhere, and I think going forward, they're going to release another recipe each year until they actually have all of their 10 recipes single barrels released. At least that's my impression.
Can I ask you, I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you whether you say yes or no. If you are not a fan of Four Roses, then why would you buy more bottles? Especially at that price.
Well, this is the whole crux of having a YouTube channel. There are people out there that look for specific reviews of a specific bottle. When we first got into it, what we ended up doing was looking up reviews online. We went to a couple of sites that had like users contribute to what they
Right.
thought their tasting notes were. So we would taste one, take a look at the notes and see if we get the same thing. And then I got onto YouTube and started looking at like the Bourbon Junkies or the Whiskey Vault and started looking at their reviews and trying to see what they were getting compared to what I was getting. And what eventually starts to happen is you latch onto a specific YouTube that your palates align. So if somebody is watching this and you are not a fan of Four Roses, your palate might match mine or might match yours. But having a YouTube channel, I'm open to reviewing anything and everything. I mean, I have a Wild Turkey 8 that I just picked up today that I'll be doing a review in about a month. So my point is, the reason why I buy bottles is because I have a YouTube channel and I'm reviewing them. And if your palate matches mine and I don't particularly care for something, maybe I save you money, maybe I don't. There are some people that absolutely have a complete opposite palate of mine. So if I don't like this, they should run out and buy a case of this because they probably will love it while I don't like it. And there are people out there that actually comment and say, hey, my palate is completely different than yours. So, which is perfectly fine.
And I remember the reason we picked this as our first bottle is because it was one that got decent reviews.
Yeah.
And that we were like, okay.
There's a lot of
give it a
people
shot
that love
really
Four Roses.
Four Roses, yeah.
Four Roses Small Batch Select is probably my favorite bottle of Four Roses. I have just realized, and it's not good or bad, I am just not a Four Roses fan.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it is. So
I am not either, so.
let us know in the comments down below what your favorite Four Roses recipe is, and if you have a specific like flavor profile that you get with Four Roses. Let us know in the comments down below.
I think so.
Yeah, just not the biggest fan of Four Roses.
Awesome.
I typically say at this point, wherever you are at in your journey, I hope you're enjoying it.
Because we are definitely enjoying ours.
And I would usually take a sip of these, but I'm not going to.
No,
All
neither
right.
am I. All right.
We'll talk to everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.